I won't be taking questions from the media today. Instead, I'll be announcing that we just completed a 3-team trade with the New Orleans Pelicans and the Atlanta Hawks. A trade that sees us sending out Ivica Zubac and Norman Powell to the New Orleans Pelicans, along with Terrence Mann and Derrick Jones Jr., plus the 2026 second-round pick to the Atlanta Hawks. In return, we received Brandon Ingram and Daniel Tice from the Pelicans, along with Clint Capella and Garrison Matthews from the Atlanta Hawks. This is a trade that I'm aware is going to shock a lot of media people and some of the fans because if you know my history, you know I live by the saying, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. And with us winning the last 7 out of 8 games and kind of turning around our season, climbing back into the standings and doing so well in the NBA Cup, this wasn't something that was on my radar to do. This trade was really ignited behind the frustrations and unhappiness with Ivica Zubac. I will say and put it to rest now, he did not formally request a trade, but he did detail and allow us to understand his frustrations and unhappiness, not only with his role, but with the success he's had as an individual to start the season. He was extremely unhappy, and that was really the one of the big motivating factors for us to pick up the phone and kind of get the wheels turning on this trade. This is a trade that briefly was brought up heading into the season. New Orleans came into the season without center depth, and they called and talked to us about Zubac, but it didn't last long because we liked what Big Zoo gave us at the time with his size and his rebounding and his pick and roll chemistry that showed so much growth with James Harden. But after he displayed the frustrations, we picked up the phone call again, and it led to this. This is a rare opportunity for us to get better on both ends of the floor. Usually you don't have that opportunity with trades. You kind of see yourself improving on one aspect of the game. But with Brandon Ingram and his shot creating ability, adding him, to the mix with James Harden and Kawhi, and then also bringing in a guy like Clint Capella with his pick and roll chemistry and familiarity with James Harden, and plus what he can do for us closing out possessions on the defensive glass and being the back line of our defense, we felt like this was a deal we couldn't pass up on. We are, again, extremely happy with the recent play of Kawhi and James Harden. I think that was another motivating factor for us to know that these guys are playing at this level. We have to go all in, and we have to, complement them as best as possible. And then to the other elephant in the room, we are definitely aware that Clint Capella and Brandon Ingram are on 2 expiring contracts. We also like that. I feel like it puts us in a great position to really go all in on this season. And it also puts us in a unique position heading into the offseason. Depending on how the season plays out, we will have the task of really figuring out which way we want to navigate for our direction. And I think a lot of that is going to fall on the backs of this season. If we have the success we feel like we're looking for, then it's a no-brainer to double down and bring this team back with more added pieces and help in whatever department we fall short on. And if the season doesn't go as we plan out, then we can exit easily with a bunch of expiring contracts and figuring out which way we want to head into our next era as Clipper Nation. So those are some of the things that I feel like you guys are going to want to know and ask about. Again, I know this trade is going to come as a surprise to a lot of media people and some of our fans, but with the motivating factors of the unhappiness with Zoo and the recent play of Kawhi and Harden, again, we just felt like this was a deal that was too good for us to pass up on. We are happy and we are excited for the future. And that's all the time that I'm going to have for you guys today. We got to go out and, do some more work to put the rest of this team together. So appreciate y'all. And we will talk soon. All right, y'all, let's dive right into it, man. 3-team trade. I'm going to give y'all the thought process behind each and every team involved. I'm going to start with the Pelicans. Ironically, after I completed this trade off camera, I got a comment on one of the previous videos in this series where I guess I lightly brought up Zubac to the Pelicans or something like that. And he was responding to that saying basically that he feels like the Pelicans may be too smart to form a front court with Z and somebody like Zoo who doesn't have the spacing ability at the center position. And though I do partly agree with him, my response to that was, are the Pelicans then dumb enough to go into a full season without a center at all? And my thinking with the Pelicans and somebody like Zubac is obviously he doesn't have the quote-unquote spacing ability that the Pelicans would hope for. But throughout Zion's career, we've been kind of fantasizing about a make-believe stretch 5 who can also rim protect and anchor a defense And they haven't been able to get that because it just doesn't really exist. Where can the Pelicans go get that? They can't get it from the Pacers because they're not trading Miles Turner for Brandon Ingram on the last year of his deal. I'm sorry. Brook Lopez is on literally the last years of his career. Victor Wembanyama, you're not just getting out any. So, like, where are you getting this five who can anchor your defense and space the floor for Zion? But also, they can't be too expensive because you already put together a lot of money on this team, which is why you don't want to bring back Brandon Ingram. Excuse me. You can't get him through the draft because any prospect that shapes up to be that way is probably going to be a top pick. The Pelicans ain't getting a top pick no time soon with the roster of talent that they have. So it's like we're just kind of fantasizing about some center that the Pelicans may never get. So instead of just not having a center at all, you get a guy like Zubac, who's still a really good center, going to rebound. And Zion has shown us with Valanciunas that, hey, he can still be Zion Williamson, even with a guy like Zubac or Jonas Valanciunas kind of down there as well. So I don't want to overthink it. They also got Norman Powell. They keep their depth. So now their starting lineup is going to be, we can actually go to the Pelicans. Their starting lineup is going to look like DeJounte Murray at the 1. You have Herb Jones at the 2. You're going to have Trey Murphy officially taking over the reins at the small forward spot finally at the 3. Zion, and then you have Big Zoo. And then behind them off the bench, you're going to have CJ McCollum as a 6-man. You're going to have Norman Powell off that bench as well, along with Jose Alvarado. And then you have a young Yves Missy who will be able to play some minutes. And then Javonte Green, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Matt Ryan is on here if you want to get some shooting. And then you have your young Jordan Hawkins. So you basically acquire 2 rotational pieces. You add a starting center and you get some depth for a guy that you wasn't going to bring back. 2K actually made the Pelicans re-sign Brandon Ingram. I know that they don't want to do that. I don't think it's because they dislike Brandon Ingram. I just think that they don't want to spend that much money on a team that has a ceiling. This roster, without our trade and with Brandon Ingram, has a clear ceiling. And it might not even be the second round. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm just being honest, when you compare this roster to the rest of the Western Conference. So, we took the responsibility of what's going to happen with Brandon Ingram. And then for the Hawks' perspective, the Hawks just are off to a very bad start, like the Pelicans were. And it's partly due to Trae Young being out. He still has a month and some change left. But they need a wing help. They needed a lot of help on the wing. We changed Dyson Daniels' position to shooting guard. We'll probably change it back to point guard since Trae is out now. But when Trae comes back, we'll probably switch him back to the point guard. To the shooting guard position. But yeah, they got Terrence Mann. They got Derrick Jones Jr. Just gives them some more depth. They got a second-round pick. And Clint Capella, like Brandon Ingram, is on the last year of his deal and was just going to go into free agency because Nneka Okongwu had took over the starting spot. So you can see that from a mile away. And then for us, like I said in the press conference, it was a situation for us to add some offense while also adding some defense along with the rebounding and some familiarity with Harden and Capella. And we'll see what happens down the line with everything else. But yeah, it sets us up in a nice position to where if we end up being like really good or sneaky good and we can just, figure some things out in the offseason with Ingram and Capella, then we have something here. If it does not materialize into anything, we're going to be in a unique situation where you go into the offseason, you potentially make Kawhi available depending on how his season and postseason goes. Brandon Ingram can just walk. James Harden could potentially just walk. Does he have an option on this? He might have a player option or a team option or something like that. I think I passed up contract going too fast. Yeah, so he has a player option. He might accept it. I don't know. And then also Capella can just walk. And, we can just go into a whole different direction. So that's what I really like about it from our perspective. The other thing that I'll say about the Pelicans, funny enough, y'all saw how Zubac was like complaining and he was heated. We trade him and he's not only not heated anymore, but his overall went up. And if you go to his like feelings or whatever the thing is called, relationship, look, it's reset. He's back to a 50. What else? He was like at a 23 morale, dropping about the dumbest stuff. Even when we were winning games, he just wasn't happy. So now he's back to himself. Overall is going up. So all parties involved are happy. And now we're going to go into a situation looking at our rotation, looking just like this. We have Harden, Dunn, Ingram, Kawhi, Capella, and then Kevin Porter Jr. goes out there with this second unit and really just controls the whole second unit. Yeah, Cam Christie is getting an opportunity, y'all. I will also say I did play a game. Wait, what's going on? They want me to take Harden out? I have to take Harden out? Wow. I didn't realize I was going to have to take Harden out. So now that I have to take James Harden out, we're just going to put Amir Coffey in, I guess. And we'll let James Harden rest up. I got the rotation saved, so whenever he gets healthy, it won't matter. We're also in the championship of the Cup. We played this Cup game, and I'm so mad. Sometimes the settings don't change on save on 2K because I had to sim stats and minutes to 12 minutes, and for whatever reason, it reset it, but I saved it again. So hopefully going forward, it won't happen. But yeah, the debut of Ingram and Capella was good. Capella rebounded the ball well. Y'all can see those turnovers. I had to go in and touch the sliders a little bit because I'm telling you, the CPU, they jump the passing lanes so much it is impossible to pass the basketball. Like, this is Capella rebounded and trying to just give the ball to the guards. And I'm not even trying to go down the court, throw it all the way down the court. I'm just trying to get it to my point guard. And they're jumping every single thing. But we were able to pull this off. Even with Harden getting hurt, he was the player of the game still. Kawhi Leonard was huge down the stretch, and Brandon Ingram was huge to start the game. I'm excited for this episode to do the Simcast and potentially jump into a few games because the new offense is beautiful. I went in, I edited the playbook, took out a bunch of plays. They had some dumbass play sets, y'all. They had like plays that was like to get the center of the ball and hand off. Like, I'm glad I took some time out to really look at what we had. That playbook made a lot of sense on why our offense looked the way it does when I jump into games sometimes. But Brandon Ingram and Kawhi, they have some plays that are beautiful for them to get to their spots. That's all I'm going to say. So hopefully we can showcase this. We're in the NBA Cup Finals. We're going against the Chicago Bulls. This should be extremely interesting. I would love to have James Harden back for this game personally. Don't know how long. Okay, he is back. So adjust manually. Shout out to 2K. We didn't have to really waste any time or waste any games with Harden missing action. So put him back in the rotation. Garrison Matthews and Kobe Brown, y'all out. I don't know what's going to happen with Bones Highland. A lot of people asking questions about Bones Highland. I have no idea what we're going to do with that. Not like he has some big market. Hopefully he'll be able to get some type of opportunity or chance to play. But as of right now, he's just kind of the odd man out. Early on, we putting the beats down on the Bulls. They're jumping back into this game. Very interesting to see how we play going forward after a big trade when we were just rolling. Hate making trades when you got a winning streak going on, but again, Zubac ass was acting like a diva, and when this deal came up, it was too much to ignore. I'm going to slow it down, and I'm going to jump in regardless. Look like we pretty much got this game wrapped up. I want to see if there's some type of celebration or something for winning a cup. I've never won the cup before. I just want to see. James Harden, how you playing, Brody? Oh, not that well. 6 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. This is my first time ever joining a game, and we shooting free throws. That's dope. So 2K is getting better. There we go. The Bulls are playing Julian Phillips. Like looked like he was getting some real minutes. Harden knocks him down. He got 9. What you got, Kawhi? 26 and 8. Capella 18 rebounds. That's exactly. And Ingram 22, 5 and 5. That's exactly what we needed. 18 rebounds. 18 rebounds, y'all. Zubac, we liked him. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Clippers. Definitely don't want to act like we weren't rocking with Zoo. That was our guy. But he was never giving us no 18 rebound performance. Never. Let's see what they got. Right side Leonard. 16 seconds left in the fourth. Love the pick and roll with Capella and Harden. Love the P&R with Capella and Harden. Y'all know there's a lot of history in that pick and roll. And I think they can start that celebration right now. Let's see if we get some celebration, y'all. Some of y'all probably watching this and already experiencing it, being like, P, you getting your hopes up for nothing. They not going to do nothing but act like a regular game. Let's see. So we got Kawhi's raising the roof. Hey, nonchalant. Harden shaking up Josh Giddey. What else we got going on? Dapping up Vooch. The crowd. Okay, we might be getting something. They just panned on the crowd. Crowd going a little wild. You see B.I. with the Jordans on in the background. There we go. Cam Christie. They let Cam Christie, the youngin, hold it. They gave it to the youngin. They said, here, you the one that's really benefited from this because we're going to get them big checks. We're going to get that purse. And you're gonna make a couple $100,000. So, yeah, recap over the game. 26-8-4 for Kawhi. 22-5-5 from Ingram. Harden 11-2-5. Dunn just being that guy. Capella 18 rebounds. Nice all-around group effort. 21 for THT off the bench. Sheesh. Zach LaVine looking like he ready to pack his bags and dip. Sheesh. P. Will, 1 of 7. Man, Bulls going through it over there. All right, y'all. I need y'all to lock in with me real quick because I'm about to go on a little rant or a little yap session. Nothing crazy. You know, if you don't care, skip it to the end. I understand. But I just want to show y'all a little behind the scenes of the shit that I have to go through sometimes to try to get out this content. And I try to do a realistic rebuild. And I say realistic very loosely because these days with the way the NBA is going on, what's realistic? If I did a Knicks rebuild that got Cat and OG and McHale last year, y'all would have probably been like, that's not realistic. If I had a Clippers rebuild where we got Kawhi and Paul George in the same summer after Kawhi won a championship with the Raptors, none of us would have thought that was realistic. So I say that really loosely. But I believe the last part of the video that y'all seen was me beating the Bulls in the Cup Finals. I recorded the rest of the episode with all of this extra stuff in here. But the episode was ruined because there was a bug in the game that kept saying Jordan Miller is in my rotation and I have to take him out. So I was forced to just release Jordan Miller. Jordan Miller is no longer on our roster because the game kept bugging so bad that it wouldn't let me jump into a game. I would simulate a simcast game and I would jump in the game when the game was close so that y'all could see the new additions of Brandon Ingram and Clint Capella. We had 2 situations we were trying to jump into. We were trying to jump into the Spurs game, and we were also trying to jump into this Thunder game, and then the game crashed 3 times. So then I said, you know what? I give up. Y'all win. I'm going to release Jordan Miller, though me and all of the viewers are not going to want to do that. I'll just release him since the game is just so bugged that I can't even play. And every time I did something, they kept messaging me, Jordan Miller's in your rotation. He's in your lineup. You got to take him out of your lineup. I'm like, okay, fine. I release him. So then I'm like, all right, I'm going to just jump into this Hawks game that we simcasted just to give y'all some footage, right? So because the game crashed 3 times, when I recorded this last part, it had the soundtrack playing. Why does it not save when I say turn the soundtrack off? I don't know. Every time I boot this game up, the soundtrack is going on and on. She in her mood. She in her mood. And I really don't care enough to take it out. But the last time that happened, they got me for copyright. I didn't care because I wanted to just give y'all the episode. This time I'm taking it out of the video because it was like 15 minutes worth of clips that had the songs in the background, and it's hard to hear me and what I'm saying. And so I'm gonna just give y'all a little 4-minute review of everything that happened since the Cup. We went on a 2-game losing streak to Dallas. One of these games, Luka was phenomenal. This one he had the triple-double, but this is the one he was scoring and almost had the triple-double. Him and Kyrie combined for 66. After that loss, we have now gone on a 6-game win streak. It now puts us in a position to be the 6th team out west. We're in such a great spot. This is exactly where we want to be. We want to be out of the play-in, but we want to have a chance to, get up as much as we can. We're now in that 2nd tier. Or 3rd tier, because I'll still say Minnesota and OKC is in a tier of their own, and Sacramento has been playing real good. They're in that 2nd tier, and then the rest of us, until we catch up to Sacramento, we're kind of in this tier of not being in a play-in, and I just want to sit here comfortably. We're half game behind Golden State. We're a game behind Dallas. Losing those 2 games is going to be really, really tough because if we get to a tiebreaker situation, they have the advantage over us.
But for now, this is a comfortable spot to be in. Denver is going to climb up because I went in and did force wins for Denver the same way I did for Boston. So at some point in this series or in the season, you're going to see Denver start to collect wins and wins and wins, because I just don't believe that Denver is all of a sudden a non-playoff team. So again, trying to just make it some realistic as possible. But yeah, man, this is the type of shit that just burns you out as a creator. I've been having fun with this series. I've been locked into this series. I've been creating and recording videos every single day, even when I'm not necessarily recording it. I'm playing games offline. I'm trying to mock up trades offline. I'm dealing with the sliders. I'm doing rotations. I edited the playbook. I've edited the players, put the shoes that Brandon Ingram was wearing last year. I put them on. I'm trying to do everything I can. And it's just like 2K finds something. It's always something. And I'm trying to push past it, but it's like, man, y'all got the game crashing, and then I reload the game real quick. I'm not thinking. I'm just trying to get the content created and out at a decent time. And it's like, nah, now we can't save your settings. They never save the settings. I played this cup game right here. I told y'all early in the video, I had the settings on simulate to real, like, what is the setting? Yeah, normalize play minutes and play. I had to turn this on several times for it to save. Because who the fuck wants an 89 to 85 score where it says that James Harden had 15 points? You sim this to 12 minutes and James Harden has 23 and 10. This is probably a 26-point game for Ingram, a 25-point game for, like, what are we doing, 2K? What the fuck are we doing? You go in here, you do the rotation, and I'm seeing the comments, everybody saying, no, I'm doing that shit. I've been playing 2K for years. I know how to make a rotation. I know how to really, not just this, I'm talking about really make a rotation. I know how to do this shit. I know how to go in and edit tendencies. I know how to go to this and say, oh, I want younger players to play, or I want older players to play. I want a pick and roll offense, or I want to play through my start. I know how to do all of these shits, y'all. I'm aware of this. But somehow 2K don't respect this shit. And even this, on the fly lineup. So I'm probably have to go in and change this shit now, because since we did all of the bugging with Jordan Miller, they done reset all of these. I had all of these set. Now it's just dumb shit. They got him in my bench lineup. Bones Highland not even in a fucking rotation. There's not enough common sense in 2K to say, hey, he gave him 0 minutes, so maybe we shouldn't put him here. It's like, no, not only did he give him 0 minutes, he has 0 minutes in him. Let's put all three of the ass in the fucking lineup. Shit's stupid. It's only so much you can fucking do by touching the sliders and touching the settings, and it's only so much you can fucking do. They gotta go in and fix this shit. This is some lazy ass shit, and you got a motherfucker like me trying to make the content and trying to do it right. I can't deal with all this shit. 2K, get y'all shit together. Appreciate y'all watching. I'll see y'all next episode, and the next episode gonna be fucking perfect. And the last thing I'm gonna say, for all the people that want to be a part of the media questions at the beginning of the episode, drop your questions in a decent enough manner. I want everybody to get a chance to get their questions in and different things like that. But I'm recording these so rapidly so we can keep the consistency up, because I'm seeing y'all enjoying it, that like some people submit their questions a day later. By the time you submit your question the next day, I've already recorded the new episode. So I'm looking at my questions and finding my questions between probably 5 or 8 hours of when the video was dropped. You know what I mean? So once you submit your question and it's been a day, you know what I mean, with the pace I'm going at right now, you're probably not going to make the cut. Maybe eventually if I start to slow down the recording process, but right now I'm trying to record every single day or every other day. So just submit your question in a reasonable time. Just trying to give everybody a chance. Again, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for grinding with me through all of the bullshit that 2K is throwing at us. We will not let it end something that's been going well. Husa, I'll see y'all.